Hello everyone and welcome to Don't Be Bored, and in particular to Tabletop Tea Time. This is the monthly show where I invite some creators on to talk about a theme or a topic. And this month, well, it's all about, for me at least, Formula One, because that season, a new season has just started, so we're talking racing. Well, for me, I would have always used to have gone straight to Downforce. Downforce is a fantastic board game where you are racing around a circuit, but there's other elements to it. At the start of the game, you're going to be bidding for cars, and that's going to sort of negatively affect your winnings at the end. You're also going to be betting at certain sort of points around the racetrack who you think's actually going to win. So depending on how you bid and how you bet, you don't necessarily have to win the race. So it feels like a race is going on, but you don't necessarily feel like you are the driver. It's more you're sort of the manufacturer, but also you're also just an onlooker watching on this race and bidding on this race. It's fun. You can block people, you can work your way through cars, sort of weaving around the track a little bit, getting in front for the corner that then maybe you block them on. But again, it doesn't have that thing of, oh, I am the driver. And of course, the game that does that for me is Heat. It's kind of the closest to like a Formula One experience in a board game that I've played, and it's also just happens to be a rather fantastic game as well. In Heat, you look at this board and it's got so many steps. I think it's like 7 or 8 potential steps you're doing on a round. You've got this deck of cards that's going to be giving you the movement, and you're kind of having to work with what it gives you. Obviously, you are basically starting with the same deck as everyone else, but the way it's shuffled, the way you use your Heat cards to break some of the rules and go a little bit further, etc. That's all up to you, which is why it makes it feel like you are the driver. You're having to deal with maybe some wet weather, or you have to slow down, go down gears, maybe using Heat to go down or up multiple gears in one go to slow down enough so you don't spin off at the next corner. Or maybe you think, oh, I've got enough Heat, I could just barrel round this corner, get ahead, and just spend the Heat and not spin out, because you have this sort of push your luck pile of Heat cards that if you run out and you're going too fast around a corner, you spin out, and that's pretty bad for you. And at other times you have enough, so you need to start pushing your luck, otherwise the other players will pull ahead. There's things like slipstreaming, where if you've ended your movement just behind someone, you can take a bonus movement, and that in my head, you can really visualise that in a Formula One race where people are slipstreaming just behind someone and darts out at the end and weaves around them. And that's captured in Heat. It also doesn't hurt the game that it comes with 4 maps, just in the box. There's 2 double-sided boards. There's not many games that do that. Downforce, the other game I was talking about, that comes with a double-sided board, and I thought that was good. And then you could get expansions. Heat just has 4 maps out of the gate, and that is, well, 2 fantastic games, but I think when it comes to actually being the driver, speed, it's got to be Heat. But of course, let's pass over to Evan, who's going to have a game that many of us haven't heard about, and I'm certainly intrigued to find out a bit more about it.
Hey everybody, I'm Evan, and today I'm going to show you a game that you have probably never heard of. Well, I have actually covered a couple of different racing games in this segment, so hey, what's one more? Today's pick is called Valam Kali. This is a game where you are racing boats. And yeah, let's go down to the table and I'll show you how it works. At the start of a game of Valam Kali, every player gets a hand of cards in their color, a boat in their color, and an amount of money in their color. Then these decks have 1s and 2s in it, but some of the oarsmen are different. So then before the race starts, you can then bid on these professional oarsmen, which have higher numbers or their other characters in twos. So, how that works is you spend money and do like a closed fist auction to get these into your deck. And actually you replace them so you always have the same amount. Then basically what you do as far as gameplay is when you get you shuffle your deck, put cards into your hand, and draw 4. Then you discard one of them, and that's how many spaces you move. You add those numbers together. So in this case, the blue would move 3. However, if they have 3 different oarsmen of the same number, they get to move a bonus 3, because then you're in sync. So in this case, instead of moving 3, you would move 6. And then everyone does that simultaneously, and then the boats move simultaneously. So once you pass one of these spots here, there's a random event card that comes out. These are generally like catch-up mechanisms that either hurt the first players or help the last players. And then you can also place a bet. This 5,000 here is the maximum amount of bet that you can make. So as you can see, this is an enormously long board. This event, number 2, you can bet a total of 3,000. And then the final bet is 1,000. Then finally the finish line is up here. So when you're placing your bets, you take your colored money and put it on which boat you think is going to win. So it doesn't necessarily have to be your boat. You're just basically betting on who you think is going to win. And then there is at the end of the game, there's a formula that has payouts on it. And then the first, second, and third also have payouts on it. And that's kind of it. It's kind of hard to show because of this extremely long board. But yeah, that's basically it. You're basically just drawing 4 cards each time, discarding 1, and trying to get them in sync if they are different oarsmen. So ideally, if you had something like this, that's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is 9 spaces moved. But if you have this 4 in your hand, and these 2s, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 spaces moved. Yeah, and then basically once 3 players cross the finish line, whoever is the furthest is the winner. And that's basically it. I would like to mention that I do have the deluxe edition. The normal edition has standees instead of these fancy acrylic boats, and has like a puzzle piece type board instead of this fancy playmat. Either way, that's the only difference. The game plays exactly the same. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a fast and furious boat race. Let's go back up top, and I'll tell you what I think. And there you have it. That's Valam Kali. So you may notice some similarities between another racing game, specifically Downforce, where there is a focus on betting as well as racing, but in this one you're only ever moving your own boat, not everyone's boat or car, as in Downforce. But I think it's fun. I think it's a little unpredictable. It's a little random, but it's still kind of like a fun race type game where, you can bet on other people's boats if you think they're doing better. In theory, I guess you probably could throw the race yourself and purposely lose, but I don't know if you want to do that. I do think it probably plays better with higher player counts, the minimum being 3, and maybe it's a little less satisfying at 3, I think. But it's fun. It's great fun. And I would like to say that if you have not seen, this is a real sort of boat race that they do in India. And watching these racers race is amazing. Like when there's 120 people on a boat and they go so fast and they're all rowing in unison, which it's quite a thing to watch. So if you haven't seen this, I would suggest looking that up, or just I probably have a video playing right here. Yeah, so the next question is, where can I find this game? Well, I believe it is available to order from the publisher's website. I'm not sure if any other outlets have it, but if you go to the Mosaic Games website, and that's Mosaic spelled Mozaic, they do have it, and they will ship to the United States or probably wherever you are. They're a really cool company. I've dealt with them on some other things, and they're great. So I highly recommend this game. And yeah, thanks for joining me on this tea time. Hope you learned a little something about boat racing. And we'll see you next month, everybody. Bye.
And well, that wraps us up today. I hope you've enjoyed us talking about games that are racing and speed, or not so much speed, but just that race vibe today. Hopefully you've heard about a new game or just one that you also like. Either way, let us know in the comment section below. And of course, I'll link to Evan's channel in the description box, so please go and check his channel out. Subscribe there, subscribe here, and until next month, have a fantastic month gaming.